is 7 p.m., so we'll call the meeting to order. And the first order of business will be roll call.
Michael Doherty,
Present.
Fred Tamara,
Here.
Jeff Kelleher,
Here.
Ivar McDonald,
Here.
Bill Perizzo,
Here.
Wendy Costa,
Here.
and Marilyn Parker and Margaret Bullion are absent. And I'm here, Michelle.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, next is item 4, to approve the minutes from the May 12th regular meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
So move. You can have it, Fred.
No, I'll second.
All right, so
The two of you.
So.
Jeff
or
Kelleher.
Fred, second.
All right. Any discussion,
So
additions, omissions,
one
corrections?
very minor corrections, I think, in old business, part B, it says Bucks Road Bridge. I assume that's Canyonville.
Sorry, you're assuming is what?
Canyonville?
We have two, we have Butts Road,
Butts Road. Oh, is it Butts?
it should be
Yeah,
Butts,
But, B-U-T-T-S.
yes,
Okay.
and we, I think we talked
No,
about.
but the one that says Bucks. was-
Yeah, it's Butts,
Butts.
not Butts
Somebody
Ice
was thinking
Cream.
of like.
You know where my mind is. That was the only thing I noticed.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No? Hearing none? Kelleher? How do you vote?
Aye.
Ivor? Brett?
Aye.
Bill? Michelle?
Aye.
And I vote aye also, so that's unanimous.
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
Any alternate in for today's session?
currently we have one arriving.
But none seated.
But none seated, no.
Okay, just wanted to verify. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Wendy and Margaret are. Yep. Okay, thank you. I didn't know if they were seated. Appreciate that.
Yep.
And apologies. Margaret?
Yes,
Okay, just trying to.
all right. So that's taken care of. We'll move on to item 5, public comment. Anyone? None of you got anything to say out there? All right, hearing none. We'll move on to item 6, old business. Update on the state. Karen, do you have anything?
I do, but I'll be brief.
Oh,
Let me want to hear it all. See if I stop.
Most, you will all be happy to know we got the reimbursement of $151,033 from the Urban Development Grant, which is the first reimbursement for the exhaust systems at the fire departments. We finally got that. And that was out of CNR funding, so that'll be used for the other projects that were approved at town meeting, which would be the storage tank, the elementary school, and the Stryker lifts and Lucas batteries.
Right.
For EMS, and then the remainder will use to, if you approve it, to go to reimbursing WFPA. Secondly, I did receive a letter, I'm not sure if everybody else has received it, but the additional funds for the special ed and the Mash and Pequot, you will see those sometime in September. And the last language of the letter that I have is we will be using them and can use them, the whole set of funds, like we did to offset the mill rate.
Right, correct.
So that has been confirmed.
All right.
That's all I have right now.
Okay. Anyone have any questions on that? No, no, hearing none, we'll move on to the next item, update on the local bridge project. Ken?
I have the easements for the two abutting property owners that we need to do the construction. And I'm in contact with Eversource right now to move a single telephone pole. So that end of it's tying together real quick. WPCA has now accepted the modifications to the original design for the sewer line that goes underneath that bridge. And we're all set. It looks like we're all set with the modifications requested by wetlands. The final plans are coming out shortly. But at this point, because of scheduling and parts and the availability of contractors, it looks like we're gonna go for a fall bid and a spring build.
Questions on that? Doing good so far. All right, back to you again, Chan. Update on the elementary school tank project.
With a big smile on my face, I can say we're done.
Bollards are all in. Fences there.
Everything's 100% complete, it's all inspected and we're in great shape.
Excellent.
The final tally on the project is $123,575, give or take a few cents. But I just wanted to let everybody know that originally Gordian had that number of 241,000. The actual pairing what Gordian was gonna do with what we did, our number actually was $93,456. Now, there's the other numbers that came out above and beyond are associated to the temporary tanks. The temporary tank that wasn't part of anybody's bid in the beginning because it was kind of an unforeseen thing. So if you look at the connections and plumbing associated with it, the tank rental, having to sanitize the temporary tank that we rented before we sent it back, and $11,000 in the insurance policy that we had to have because the underground tank was not insured. So that got all straightened out. So if you add up all the extra stuff, it's $30,118. So I'm really pleased to say that the 575 includes all of that extra stuff, the insurance, the temporary tank expenses. So the entire project came in $148,000 in the original numbers. So I'm really pleased. It worked out really well. We saved the town a lot of money. There is one very small caveat. We have not received the bill for the removal of the temporary tank. All the paperwork with DEEP is done, all the closeout paperwork is complete, we're 100%. But we haven't received a final bill from Tesco, which is the company that we rented from. I threw some quick numbers together. It's $175 an hour, door to door. And it's 75 miles each way, and then there's some time to load it up onto the truck. So I'm guessing a total of 4 hours, which is another $700 that may come in. But we're still below that $125,000 number complete, which is what we told the taxpayer.
Very good. Questions? Anyone? No? Okay. Thank you very much. We'll move on to item D, which is the request for a reimbursement for Muddy Brook Fire Department's emergency expense for their Rescue 475. And we had discussed that at our last meeting, and we were talking about $21,000, roughly $100 as a total on that. I think Karen.
Yep, I have
gave
it
us an
right.
Update.
I do have it right here, so let's make sure we're all on the same.
I think it's 21,084.69.
Give or take.
Give
Okay,
or take.
yes, I have it right here.
About.
And that being said, on, I think it was May 21st, the Board of Selectmen met and they also approved the reimbursement. And I am fully confident that we can do that because my plan is I can't reimburse them with CNR funds, but I'm gonna reimburse your contingency and then pay it out of the contingency.
Makes sense.
And, should be good. I could probably get that done before the end of the month.
That'd be great.
And I just want to confirm it's going to WFPA. Okay.
Questions on that? Would someone like to make a motion to approve that? Oh,
I move that we approve $21,084.69 to WFPA.
we have a second on that.
I just wanna say what it's for.
Oh, for the Muddy Brook
Emergency repairs,
emergency repairs to
Rescue 475.
Rescue 475. Thank you.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, Shell seconds. We have any further discussion on that? Hearing none. Jeff?
Aye.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Fred? Bill? Aye. Michelle?
Aye.
And I vote aye also, so that's unanimous. That will be taken care of. Alrighty. New business, item 7. Item A would be the Board of Ed's budget update for the year. Have you,
I talked to Dina today. She's not in the office. I guess Katrina is retiring and she's hosting her retirement party, but she said she was told she didn't have to come.
Yeah.
So they have nothing to report, she told me.
right, and that's the last I was told.
Yeah,
Things had not changed, everything was still going.
she sent you her last report and so I don't think they have anything new to update anyway.
I don't know, and we got, what, 3 weeks left here in this budget year, so hopefully nothing changes in that period of time. And if that's the case, we should be doing good. All right. Update on the general government budget.
So I am fully confident we will have a surplus as well. I just can't give you the dollar amount because we do pay bills up until mid-August and I don't know what's coming in other than the repetitive. With the highway department, Jason's budget has the funding just for the remainder of the year for the payroll for all the employees because we made sure he didn't dip into that. If there's any overages in the road projects he's doing right now, which would be paid for out of town aid roads, so there should not be a problem there. Looking at the transfer station today and the deductions I predicted for the end of this month, not knowing what June's bill, we should only be about 10,000 over budget, but I believe we'll have plenty of money in certain departments that will cover that overage, but overall, I'm going to guesstimate at least 100,000 that could go back to the general fund, if possibly more, but I won't know that, and, you know, there's just, we don't know what's gonna happen with the highway garage for
Right.
parts and stuff, and that, you know, to the end of the year, but we're not as bad as I was predicting. So once I normally don't have those reports for you until September when we do the transfers, but once I get closer, I can just keep updating you via email.
Yeah.
If there's any issues.
All right.
And I haven't balanced with Nora yet because I just got back from vacation, but once I do, I'll let you know what we have. I know we have a surplus in revenues too, and I'll forward all that information. I'll keep you all posted by email over the next month.
Great. All right. We're good. Any questions, comments? Anyone? I just want to say both budgets went a lot more swimmingly than I thought they would. And we, looks like we're gonna turn out in decent shape. So I just want to say thank you for everything you guys did on your end and also pass that along. I will to the Board of Ed and
Yeah.
Dina. But yeah, it's good news. Good news.
Absolutely.
All right. Item 8, public comment again. All you people out there still here, huh? Go ahead.
I just wanted to say thanks to Dick Barron and the Muddy Brook Fire Department for spending what is considered very short money to extend the length of a truck for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah,
And, thank you for that.
good job.
We want to thank you folks and everyone for seeing that, because we know what it's like to replace the fleet. We know we're having meetings, we're having very productive meetings, actually. That I've never seen in my career. And it's time to have those meetings. But I think in the future, we're gonna be in a lot better shape. We're gonna have a very realistic plan, an actual written plan. On our apparatus maintenance, we're working on that, so it's gonna work out very well. And the other, if you go back to public comment, with the budgets coming in very good, actually, in the end, to me, that shows how prudent the town's people are, whether it's the highway department, whether it's at Board of Ed, whether it's fire service, on how we spend our money, how we do the jobs. the tank, doing it a lot of ourselves. The ingenuity in this town is extremely good. And when you can come in with budgets and both with surpluses, which is kind of a neat word at this time of the year. That's kudos to everybody in town that has to do with that, at least in my opinion anyway.
Agreed. Anyone else?
I just have one quick comment. Talking with Jan, what we would like to try to do with helps to the fire departments achieve their goal of replacing their trucks every so many years. Is I'd like to just talk to our auditor about coming up with an actual vehicle replacement policy that the townspeople vote on. Then we wouldn't have to go through it all the time, every time something new. So for instance, if we try to do either bonding or if we do it through a different process, if the townspeople versus just the board vote on a policy, it will prevent further referendums and things like that. That's my goal to work on with Chandler, because I think it would be in the better interest for them if we said to the townspeople, we have a 10-year policy, so every 10 years, we need to purchase a new vehicle, and you get 10 years to pay for it, and then when the new vehicle, if we have a policy set that's actually a town policy voted on it, I'm sorry, may have to go to referendum because of the expense, it would prevent us possibly from having to keep repeating the ban process or the bonding process, because those are all very expensive, and I would never recommend a ban, which is a bond anticipation note for something of that nature. We just have to go, but we also have municipal leasing companies we work with. But it would be nice to not have to, every time we needed a purchase for an emergency vehicle, have to go to a referendum to try to come up with some policy. And I'm gonna talk with the auditor first to make sure under the accounting standards that we can do such a thing. And if that's the case, then we can start working with Dick on an actual policy. I think that might be moving forward, but I would definitely recommend trying to go more through a leasing company than an actual bond for those types of purchases, because usually the fees are a lot less than going through a bond. That's just something we're looking at, working on, and we'll keep you informed, find out.
No, so what are we doing now? Some buildings, but.
They save the money with their new apparatus line item. And then they buy it themselves through either a loan or something of that nature.
And
Well, what I guess where we're at is, the way we're doing it now, starting about 25 years ago. And the money we were putting in for apparatus replacement actually worked rather well. Well, the increase of apparatus soared so much, it far exceeded what we've been getting in the last maybe 10 years or so anyway.
Yeah. Mhm.
So now, we're in 2026. We're almost back to where we were 25 years ago, and I think we talked about this at some of the meetings, and that's why we've had one of our first meetings, which was very productive. I like what Karen's doing, because it's thinking out of the box, and that's what we gotta do. And the chiefs talked about, with the plan and with the trucks, with I call it the bread and butter trucks, which would be the engine tanks, which is go out every day to the job. And the other big one is the ladder truck. Those bread and butter trucks, if we can come up with a plan to finance those, and every 10 years, there would be a new truck, and we'd have to look at the financing, we'd have to now factor in, the like a 2% or 3% every year, we'd have to factor that in, which we didn't do.
The other option would be to include a higher amount in the budget for the apparatus fund. But that is either the taxpayer's discretion, so if they don't approve a budget with I'm just throwing a number out there, $100,000 increase. Or we would have to cut $100,000 someplace else. So my plan is thinking outside, like he said, but coming up with a lease purchase policy to give them or the town the availability every 10 years to lease purchase a fire apparatus. So then when the time comes, we can just go look at the most recent rates and move forward.
By doing that as well, what you've done is you've guaranteed the funding. These guys can't go buy a truck and then all of a sudden we say, hey, we're gonna cut your budget this year. If we have some kind of an agreement with the town, then that money is always gonna be there so that it's a constant source of funding for these giant trucks. And we're talking, $800,000
Right.
trucks, buy one every 10 years. So each department would get one of those major pieces of equipment replaced. I mean, 30 years old is pretty old for a truck, even though they're not huge mileage. But they're essential pieces of equipment. And if we just put it in the general government budget, then when times are tough and we've got to cut, guess what's gonna get cut?
Yeah. And the thing we gotta look at too is overall, doesn't matter where the money comes from to purchase these vehicles. They belong to the taxpayers,
Right.
their vehicles. Even if they're registered or titled in the name of
Right.
the Fire Protection Association. Because of the bylaws of the Fire Protection Association. If any of the three departments or all three were to dissolve. Everything that's been purchased by taxpayer dollars reverts back to the Fire Protection Association. Then something would have to be determined as to what we're gonna do to provide fire service. And if the Fire Protection Association actually became defunct, everything would automatically go to the town. And that's the way it is, it's set up right now. And the thing is, 25 years ago, $93,000 a year set aside for apparatus
I was golden.
was
Plenty.
wasn't plenty, but it was decent money. Right now, it's $162,000 is what is currently in the budget for apparatus, which is not that great of an increase over a 25-year period of time. And the cost of fire apparatus in the last 5 years alone has gone up over 8.5%. So it's something that you just can't get around it. Got to come up with a new plan. So I think the idea of everybody putting their heads together and working on it, it's gonna mean a big difference in the future. I mean, right now, Dick can tell you the condition of the overall fleet in the town. We're not in any real bad shape. But we could have been with the loss of the truck that was just repaired. And they went out and found a way to get it done and extend the life of it for an additional 7 or 8 years at a decent cost.
Mhm.
So this is,
Mhm.
these are the things that have to be done. Anybody else have any comments or any on that? No? Okay. All right, other from the board. You,
I mean, either of us can go. So I would like to talk about the Bowen Fund.
that is,
So, after, we had a presentation a few months ago, I started looking into the, getting the actual will and looking through that. And I found some things in the will that were different than what we expected, what I expected,
had been assumed.
and what had been assumed.
Yes.
And so, while the wills clearly says, this is a gift, $5,000 to be given and held for 100 years. And that was the paragraph that I think everyone had focused on. A couple paragraphs above that, it said none of these bequests are to be given until after the death of my wife, which was in 1949. And so I shared that with Karen, she shared it with the attorney, and the attorney said, yes, 1949 is the date, not
Yeah,
20.
two attorneys.
2027 is the year, sorry, 2049 is the year, not 2027.
Did the attorney see this before?
He never was given, he never
He
seen,
said, I never looked at the will.
we've given, no,
Wow.
we have given him sections of the will
Well,
that said,
whatever, I'm just.
yeah, just. Never
But it
had
is
he
what it is.
seen
Yes,
the
well,
extra minutes from,
it takes the urgency out of it.
It certainly does.
Because you don't have to have any more meetings this summer.
We don't.
So
We
does that
don't.
mean the 100 years starts?
So the hundred, so,
Yes.
and then the follow-up is, I found, town meeting minutes from 1949, May of 1949, when the town voted to accept the gift. And so that was the other part that was given to the attorney, and they said, yes, obviously, it's very clear in the town meeting minutes, we, accept this gift and we'll hold it for 100 years, right? It was not retroactive to 27.
So we're now, okay, so
And-
we got a little. time.
anything in the files has been up there for years, and that is what was submitted to the attorney constantly. I never had a copy, never even knew it was 1949, and neither did prior administration. We all were on the same page that it was
So,
2027.
And no one asked the question.
No,
That's, yeah.
and even when you gave it to the attorney, he only read it said, upon my death, the 5,000 will stay investing in New York stock for 100 years. There
so,
was nothing else, and the will, when it was dated, was in 19.
49.
No.
Well,
No,
it was-
no,
no,
the
27.
original
The
word,
40s.
yeah, yeah.
so,
Thank you for doing that, Ira.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rule against perpetuities flashbacks from law school. We need to move on.
so there.
Okay, they're working on extra questions.
Yes,
Did
there,
you give
there,
us credit? Is he missed that or?
there were some other questions that I had, as I was looking at it. I mean, that was obviously
A big one.
the big one.
Yeah.
Right? But it does seem like there's some inconsistencies. So for example, the first thing I noticed was, because it has the inventory of what Bowen owned at his death. And the stocks that we got weren't something that he owned at the time of his death. So could he specify that it has to be those specific stocks if he never held those stocks, for example? The will says New York Bank and insurance stocks, it doesn't specify which ones. So there may be there are things that may, again, there are questions that I have as a non-attorney, right, that may point in the direction of us potentially having more flexibility, even possibly before the 100-year mark, to diversify.
Yeah.
And there's also, the state statutes have changed around trusts, and, the current guidance is, again, my reading of it says that you shall diversify, and that the stipulations of the will are not sufficient to prevent that. So I still think that the Board of Finance with the town should continue along these lines, because the fact that we can't spend the money now doesn't change the fact that it's still prudent to diversify. And if we have that option to diversify and to make sure we're doing things properly, and it's not just what we can do. It seems that it says we shall diversify.
Well, yeah,
Right, that we don't-
it's not so much that we shall diversify, we have a fiduciary duty
To
to
manage those.
manage it well.
Yeah,
So
so,
therefore, in nowadays
so
terms.
I think that
Yeah.
there's a set of questions that are still out to the attorney. And, I think once those
Yeah.
come back, answers should go to the board.
Yep.
Um,
I actually know somebody who is a financial person, and he works for a company called Fiduciat, and all they do is manage endowments. Like that's all they do, nonprofits and endowments, and I'm sure he would come, not even just have an informal conversation with you, Karen, it doesn't have to be anything
Yeah.
formal. To get some information, I can put you in touch with. him.
Okay, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And I will follow up with the attorney to see if he can get me those answers. I mean, he did ask, I said, yes, please move forward and answer those questions, so we had a better idea, but haven't heard from him.
Question, did the will say anything about who was the custodian of the funds?
I don't recall.
I don't either. It doesn't
It-
specify, and I'll be honest, my name is on them as the contact, and I can, I can get access to 2 out of the 3 logging in, and I can get the statements, the information, the dollar amount, all that stuff, but another one, which is BYN Mellon, will not, even though I'm on it, we've had the town certify corporate seal, I mean, whatever, incorporated seal, all that stuff, and they still won't release it. So I have to go on June thirtieth and look at whatever, I try to do like Yahoo Finance to see what the actual, to figure out what we have until they give me the next statement, but it's quarterly, so it's never in balance, the way
Right.
that it's been set up. So I wouldn't even know, and the same thing was when Donna was the treasurer and Barbara. You don't know who or how to get access to that. So that's why I say we definitely need a professional, because
I think mine.
What about
So
you?
there's only, so there's, you're invested in 3 stocks, there's no one who controls.
So, so there's JP Morgan and Associates has 2 accounts. And then we have
Melon.
BYN or BNY Mellon, okay? And that one, I can't get any access to, only when they send me a quarterly statement.
Okay.
The other 2, I can go in and I can get the statements, I can get the daily cost per share, all that other stuff. But I can't manage it, I can't invest, which I never would, because that's above my level of expertise. The problem is we don't know, how do you get access, like who can get access to diversify and that type of stuff, we need.
So there is no custodian right now then?
Yeah.
I don't believe so, I think the town of Woodstock is the custodian. But there's no one person, so we would have to definitely have a professional and an attorney
To represent us.
work through this
Yeah,
to figure out how to even access those to diversify.
So it seems like it's gonna be much more simpler than having to go to state AG and ask them for permission. It seems like there is flexibility.
Well,
We don't know,
that.
we don't
We don't know
know.
that.
It seems like we still need to go to the state AG.
Yes.
But we go to the state AG with,
A professional who
with,
can,
with the
Precedent.
perspective that we believe we're required to do this,
Right.
as opposed to
Yes.
going and saying, may we?
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
but, I mean,
Yeah.
I can share, I'm happy to share the questions that were sent to the attorney with the board, just don't reply all. I didn't
Yeah.
wanna send it out before.
how about I send it?
Sure, you send, cause you
Why
have,
don't I forward it and
And I
just,
would love to see a copy of that will too.
there's a copy of the will in there.
there's, yeah, he got pictures of everything.
I transcribed it all, so it's all like actually searchable.
Thanks, thank you.
And he died
you have-
before the crash, so I think some of the 2 holdings, I think by the time his wife died, one of the holdings had gone to nothing.
So that was the.
So, you know, we still got 5,000, because that was over the funds.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'd like to put it.
See, the problem is up until now, this has all been like fodder and hearsay and speculated and pieced together. You need someone who knows what they're doing to look at the entire picture.
Yes,
They say,
and,
well, this is the deal, yeah. they
and yeah,
actually know what
definitely
they're
need a
doing.
professional
Which I don't think
brokerage,
is already
whatever you
happening, I'm
normally
saying.
would do.
Well, the fact
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
the fact that.
Michelle, I'd be more than happy for you and Ivar to have this.
The fact that the attorney did not demand looking at the full will is crazy.
That's
I know.
crazy.
And
Well, also, why didn't?
But you know what, this
1949,
has
what did
been
they
not
do?
just, not just the current attorney.
yeah,
This is attorneys from 50 years ago.
So-
All had the same.
That's one of those things you look, once 100 years from now, well, let's not worry about it right now.
That's the way they all look at
it.
Sure.
By the time this comes due, I'm not gonna be around.
my first clue was I went, because I had asked Karen, I said, can I have a copy of the will? She said, well, you know, you're gonna have to get it from the town clerk. And so I went in and saw Christine, and she went and she, you know, went to the index and showed me, she's like, look, it starts here in book 18. And then, you know, there's like 3 things in book 18, and then it goes to volume 24. Like, volume 24, like, doesn't usually that take that long to finish probate, does it? Like, there's like 22 years in
Oh,
between.
and that was,
But no one ever
And that
saw
was
that.
so, yes,
and that was the 23-year space between his
yes,
passing and his wife's
Yes.
passing.
so, anyway.
Thankfully for her and unfortunately for us, she had great longevity.
Yes, well, she was also 22 years younger than him, so, you know.
I hate him.
See, some things-
All right, so that's something for all of us to keep in mind, and we will keep pursuing that. And Karen, you're gonna,
I will
Send
forward
that
you the
information
questions. You have them, but I'm gonna include all of you.
Yeah,
And then if
yeah,
you
yeah.
have questions, direct them to me. And
okay,
then I can ask the
Yeah.
attorney.
your point of contact.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Interesting.
I have 2 more very small things.
They're never
Famous
small.
last that was the big thing. This is the small. So,
small in comparison.
So Connecticut Council of Municipalities.
Yeah.
Published a guide for boards of finance and the budget process earlier this year.
Mhm.
And so I would suggest that that's shared with the board and we take that as summer reading. It's short, it's only a few pages. But I think it's good for us to sort of reflect on that and see if there's anything different from what they suggest versus what our current process is. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Can you forward that to me?
I will forward that to you and you can
Thank
send
you.
that out as well.
Thank you.
And so. Then the third, so I told you it was small. The third small thing is,
The second-
I think
Second small,
decrease-
second-
well, the third thing, the second small thing. Several months ago, we started having our meetings on Zoom. When we did, we voted as a board that we would do it as an experiment through the end of this, summer, through this. meeting.
Right.
And so I think it's been a great success. I would like us to continue this going forward. I don't know if that's something that needs a vote or it's just something that we do, but we said we would do it up to this point as an experiment, and so it's time to check in.
Well, I don't think we actually need to have a formal vote on it. I think we can just
doing it.
continue it.
Yep.
And if we run into an issue.
Yep.
Then we will address it. But otherwise, we'll just continue as we have.
I will say that Sonia had a great suggestion when we didn't know what to do with the town meeting, like,
Yeah.
if there's any questions, she's right, just call the FOIA people. And ask them, and then we can't step on it, and we're good.
Okay.
I'm done. I'm done.
I,
Yeah, okay.
thank you. Nice job, Ivan.
Anyone else?
No. Okay, then the only thing that I have under correspondence and announcements is unless something comes up unexpectedly, you can all have the next 2 months off because our next meeting will be September the 8th. And again, that'll be a Tuesday night at 7 PM here, same time, same channel. And it'll be chill me light. Look for a motion to adjourn.
I would love to make a motion.
And I'd love to make the second. All right, so we have Michelle motion and Phil second. Do we have any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you all.
Have a great summer.
7,
Yes.
no, 37.
No, that's not right. What time is it?
37, 7:37?
It is